Thank you. You may be seated. You know, people listen differently. You know, sometimes when you hear a really inspiring story or work that someone is doing, sometimes it almost makes you feel depressed, like, I could never do that. So when you listen to someone who shares with you his journey as well, some people would now say, okay, this is how you started, and this is how I can also start. So thank you, all our speakers so far. Thank you very much. Another round of applause for our wonderful, wonderful speakers. So we're taking it a step further, and we'll make available all of the information for our speakers. So if you're listening today and you want to partner with them, would have all of their contact details available so you can contact them and help them grow the work that they are doing. If you're passionate about the things they are doing, so please, we'll make that available so you can partner with them. Yvonne also has a stand at the back, so you can also find out more about the work that she's doing and join the force, as it were. Our next speaker is the CEO or the founder of Slum to School, Orondam Otto. Of course.
I came across a number of statistics, beyond statistics, realities of lots of children who were out of school. You know, either they were on the streets, hawking or begging or just roaming about, or they were in certain communities, you know, but in their numbers, these children were out of school. I was 7 at that point. That was during my National Youth Service. And coming across these children, you know, it really struck me that something really needed to be done. And I asked myself a number of questions. What will national youth service be in the sense of it? After the 1 year, will it just be working, you know, my 9 to 5, which was in the bank at that point, or ensuring that these children have the opportunity to get access to education? And so after about 8 months at the bank, I had to resign. I got a number of my friends together, and we were able to raise funds to get 118 children into schools for the first time 3 months after my resignation. For me, that was a huge success story. And if we could have done that in 3 months, it meant that a whole lot more could have been done. That was primarily how the journey began. And between 2012 and 2018, over 32,000 children have actually benefited from a series of our programs, with over 1,100 getting scholarships into several schools. Some of these children who stay from primary school back then are now in senior secondary school across various communities. You know, we have a number of our community youths who we also supported back then who are now in universities. You know, so for me, it basically just tells that as young people, we can do so much. The success we've recorded, you know, in the numbers of children who have benefited from series of our programs, you know, are the thousands of young volunteers, you know, young people who have realized that it's not just enough to complain and criticize, that we could also be part of the solution. And since 2012, we've had over 8,000 volunteers from 32 countries who have worked with us in over 18 communities across Nigeria.
With a warm applause.
I think
Not just yet.
difference between a job, a career, and a calling. We all need to realize that whilst a job can always come and go, a career could be a job over a period of time. But your calling is the assignment you've been brought to this world to fulfill. Whilst the job could be about you and the career could be about you, your calling is for the world, it's for your community. And I think we all need to realize what our callings are and bring it to light. We all need to realize that we need to live beyond ourselves. We need to live beyond our means or our immediate environment. We all need to realize that we are the light that this nation really needs. And the earlier we start shining that light, the faster this nation shall develop.
As we welcome Orondam Otto.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very honored. When Yvonne was speaking, I almost cried, sitting down there and hearing everyone who has spoken, Ini, and also Childberry. It just tells us that lots of young people in this nation are the ones who will really, really build this nation to become the destination of the future. You know, we have great potentials, we have great opportunities, and everybody is really looking forward to that change. But we are the change. Everyone seated in this room, we have solutions, we have great potentials to make that change. So I think we all need to give ourselves a round of applause. And we all need to start acting. I'm going to quickly just appreciate a few people, our team of volunteers. I know they're somewhere in the room. Some people are watching from home. You guys are heroes, you know. Young people across the continent, across the nation. We've had over 8,000 volunteers who have come and given their time without requesting for anything. And when you see the success we've recorded at Slum to School, it's primarily because of them. You know, so I want you guys to know that you're doing a great job wherever you are, wherever you're watching from. We appreciate you. Our friends, our families, our supporters, and most importantly, our children. You know, they told me, Uncle Otto, we must come with you. And today, I have about 50 of them over there. We actually were supposed to come with about 30, but this morning we heard that more of them came to school. And they said if we do not go, nobody is going. So they held us hostage. You know, when I listened to Ini's story, you know, I told myself that I've never really told the story why I started Slum to School. You know, so many times I just tell people, I was working in the bank and I got to see these children and I felt something needed to be done. Because I saw those children, and I knew that that could have been me. You know, my dad was a very hard-working public servant. He was in the Nigerian military. He was a senior officer. My mom as well, hard-working. She was a nurse at some point. And my dad was so honest with his job. In fact, at some point, he left the Nigerian army because he said that they were too corrupt and that he didn't want to destroy his integrity. My dad always taught us something, that the greatest asset you have is your integrity. Yeah. It's your name. Yeah. Do not jeopardize it for anything. And so he was in public service. He's a medical doctor. And he rose up to the ranks of, you know, becoming the chief medical director at BMH. For most of you who are in Port Harcourt or who would know, that's like one of the biggest and the number one government hospital in River State. And I could remember when I got admission to go to secondary school. I had 5 different schools: the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Air Force, the UDSS, which was University of Port Harcourt Demonstration Secondary School, the FGGC, and one other one. And my dad said he wanted me to go to the best. Shortly after then, himself and a number of people were taken off. It's a very tough story, basically. You know, but that happened, and there were lots of issues. In fact, there was a point where my dad, we did not even have money to pay certain fees. And my dad was about starting his clinic. And he said he was going to sell those equipments, sell some of the things he had built up and saved over time because he wanted to ensure that I went to school. The same thing for my younger ones. We all went to great schools. We all went to great universities. And he told himself that even if he doesn't buy a pair of shoes, he will make sure that we never owe a day's school fees and we never stay at home. That was my dad. And so when I found myself working in the bank in 2012, and somehow one day I walked into the Makoko community, just beneath the Third Mainland Bridge. I had watched the community severally. There was a time BBC had a documentary, and it was called Welcome to Lagos, and they showed this community in a very terrible light. And I told myself, when I get to Lagos, I want to see that community. And I got into Lagos, I went into Makoko, and I was stunned by what I saw. I could see children who were not in school. I could see children who were just sitting at home, who were playing in the mud. And I told myself, this could be me. I'm working in the bank, earning a good pay, but these children would never have that opportunity. And that was how I resigned from the job in the bank and got my friends together, and we began this journey. Today, over 32,000 children. And for me, that was the first issue I realized. The first issue I encountered, children who were not in school. But as I got deeper into the education sector, I realized that our problem is not just the children who are not in school, but the children who are in school but are not learning. Because their teachers are not educated. Because what we are teaching the children are outdated, irrelevant subjects and courses. I speak with these children every other day, and they tell me, we do not like school. If you go online, if you have a phone, just Google school is, and see the first thing that comes up. It says school is a waste of time. We confuse schooling for education. And we've developed a